Zhang Kai offered Xiao Chen nearly half of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's money when he initially promised to fight for it. However, he was only able to remove 10,000 superior-grade spirit stones. But the Supreme Sky Sect unintentionally gave him 50,000 superior-grade spirit stones. In addition to this, there were numerous natural riches. For regaining the spirit, there were various spirit herbs. At least 100 stocks were estimated based on a rough count. Each stock has a minimum age of 2,000 years. The inside vest was a light blue color. It was a defensive superior-grade secret treasure that would increase Xiao Chen's defense by at least 20% based on the light it emitted in its spirit energy. There's simply a little present to say hello, little brother Xiao Chen. You should have enough superior-grade spirit stones for 50,000 hours. There will be an even bigger prize waiting for you when you ascend to the upper level. Old Feng's letter of introduction ended with a statement about the Supreme Sky Sect's wealth. The delegation from the Heavenly Saber Pavilion prepared to depart early the following morning. Everyone was in a very happy mood as they prepared to leave. It might be said that the five-nation youth competition had brought a plentiful crop to the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. Prior to their arrival, the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's squad had no idea that not only would they succeed in their goal, but Morong Chong would also be able to enter the True Dragon ranking. Even more unexpectedly, Xiao Chen became the first individual to ever achieve the first rank in the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's history. The King-grade True Dragon's luck made it certain that the Heavenly Saber Pavilion would rise. They rode on Shen Manjin's golden jade-glazed ship as it soared into the air and made its way into the Great Qin Nation after they departed the city. The sky was full of people and warships. They would spread the True Dragon ranking as soon as these individuals departed the area. When people thought back on this five-nation youth competition many years from now, the names of every genius on the ranking list would still reverberate throughout the universe. A legend was created at this point. On the bow, Xiao Chen told First Elder Zhang Kai what the Supreme Sky Sect had been promised. This did not surprise Zhang Kai in the least. The Kunlun realm was devoid of any association with the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. A genuine dragon like Xiao Chen could not be kept by them. Zhang Kai was pleasantly surprised when Xiao Chen was able to aid the Heavenly Saber Pavilion and achieve the top rank. How could he possibly demand more? The golden jade-glazed ship glided slowly through the clouds toward the far horizon as a soft wind blew. A group of rank 8 spirit beasts, demonic raging flame condors, blocked the way of the golden jade-glazed ship 5 days later, above a mountain range near the border between the Great Jin and the Great Qin nations. The equivalent of a great perfection half-step martial monarch was a rank 8 spirit beast. It also moved more quickly than the cultivator did. Such cultivators would find it challenging to fight it in the air. Zhang Kai made a small grimace and meticulously counted. There were 8 demonic raging flame condors in total, of which the middle one was the largest and had a denser aura. This is not good. Unexpectedly, a demonic raging flame condor leader is also present. It would be insurmountable for even a peak consummation half-step martial monarch. Zhang Kai turned to face Lu Sufeng, who was standing behind him, and said, "Sufeng, go invite Ancestral Senior and Shen out. We will have to add an extra half-day to our travel if we have to go around them." Xiao Chen approached at this time and turned to look at the demonic raging flame condors in front of him. He commanded, "Wait a second. I'll start by trying it." The others stared at Xiao Chen with disbelief once he finished speaking. 8 spirit beasts, each of which was more powerful than a great perfection half-step martial monarch. The demonic raging flame condor's leader was also a peak consummation half-step martial monarch in terms of strength. It would be difficult for even an ordinary inferior grade martial monarch to control them. "Xiao Chen, I think it is best we let Ancestral Martial Ant Shen handle this," Zhang Kai stated anxiously. "Don't act too hastily." Even after getting the genuine dragon, Xiao Chen still wanted to put himself to the test to see how strong he was. "First Elder, you may relax," he grinned. "I am aware of my limitations. I will instantly retreat if I realize that I am unable to handle them. I won't cause you any problems." Zhang Kai was unable to say anything else to sway Xiao Chen given his resolve. In that situation, exercise greater caution. Lead some people, second elder, and then lag behind. Send someone over right away if anything changes. Shoo. Xiao Chen softly pulled the ship's bow away. A heavy wind was blowing as he flew above. The demonic raging flame condors were within 500 meters of him in the blink of an eye as he descended from the sky. The demonic raging flame condors' large wings were burning with a black flame. They were long, hooked birds with beaks that glistened coldly. They quickly flailed their wings and shouted out as they hurried over with a surging heat wave as soon as their pitiless gaze spotted Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen swiftly took his right hand off his saber and looked at the 8 demonic raging flame condors. He swiftly drew his saber after determining their trajectories. Thunder Shadow Chop. Because he was concerned about doing a great deal of harm when Xiao Chen was in the courtyard, he did not use this move to the fullest extent of his essence. There was nothing to be concerned about now that he was flying through the air. Like a gushing river, the surging crystal essence rushed in the direction of the lunar shadow saber. It immediately released a brilliant purple electric light. Xiao Chen took a total of 7 steps, leaving behind 7 distinct afterimages, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Every afterimage launched an assault. Xiao Chen had progressed from small perfection half-step monarch to peak great perfection half-step martial monarch when he attained the true dragon. The strength of Xiao Chen's assaults while he was using all of his might was astounding. Boom, boom, boom. 7 miserable cries could be heard. 7 demonic raging flame condors were instantaneously split in half by the saber lights that were released by Xiao Chen's afterimages. He then got ready to assault the leader. Everyone was perplexed. Merge. The 7 afterimages merged and Xiao Chen's body erupted with electric light. His aura became overwhelming. He was like a thunder god that descended from heaven. As his saber chi surged out, it ripped a long tear in space. The demonic raging flame condor leader was startled. It quickly flapped its wings anxiously and flew backwards. It did not dare to face this attack head-on. With a single thunder shadow chop, Xiao Chen immediately dispatched 8 demonic raging flame condors. Everyone on the battleship, including Zhang Kai, was in a state of shock. Disappointed that his final attack didn't successfully split the demonic raging flame condor leader in 2, Xiao Chen sheathed his saber. This outcome demonstrated that there was still opportunity for development with the Thunder Shadow Chop. Zhang Kai and the others exchanged looks as Xiao Chen landed back on the deck. They realized they were unable to judge Xiao Chen's power any longer. He was possibly as strong as a typical inferior grade martial monarch with his strength. Then all of a sudden, Xiao Chen said, "There is a warship chasing us at Mach 5. Once more, Zhang Kai and the others were in disbelief. They quickly glanced behind as they flew through the air. In fact, a sizable black cruiser rushed across in front of them after piercing the airborne barrier. They had a clear goal, to prevent Xiao Chen and the others from leaving the airspace of the Great Jin Nation. When Zhang Kai and the others reached the deck, Zhang Kai made an ugly face and remarked, "They seem unfriendly. It is the warship of the Bai clan." Shoo. The Bai clan's enormous black battleship overtook them and turned sideways, barring their passage in a despotic fashion just as the golden jade-glazed ship approached the border. Shen Manjin leisurely made his way outside the ship's hold. She was suspicious when she saw the warship of the Bai clan and inquired, "Zhang Kai, what's happening?" "I'm not certain. People from the Bai clan obstructed us without saying anything." Zhang Kai began to calm down a little after Shen Manjin showed up. She was, after all, half-sage. It would be difficult for the others to attempt to prevent them as long as the clan head of the Bai clan did not arrive. "There's no reason to worry, everyone. I am Bai Feng, the present clan head of the Bai clan. Just a meeting with your white-robed bladesman will do." On the warship's bow, a middle-aged man could be seen. He was glowing brightly and looked like an unsheathed treasure saber while wearing light blue robes. Everyone from the Heavenly Saber Pavilion felt a tremendous amount of strain as Bai Feng appeared. It appeared as though a sharp saber was hovering over everyone's heads as Bai Feng observed them. Sword Sage. A martial sage who fully understood saber intent, a martial sage of the saber. Saber sages and normal martial sages would not get along. 10 martial sages of the same cultivation could not stand a chance against a saber sage. Bai Feng, the clan head of the Bai clan, was one such person. I remember sending an invitation earlier, but little brother didn't seem to think much of it, Bai Feng replied with a weak smile. I had no choice but to use such a primitive technique. As Xiao Chen observed the other party, longing grew within him. A saber-wielding sage, when would he be at such a level, he pondered. After calming down, he moved forward. Maybe I know why Senior is looking for me, he remarked. Come over here, and we can talk, Bai Feng replied with a smile. Speaking is not practical down there. Don't cross, Senior brother Xiao Chen. They unquestionably don't have nice motives, Yun Kexin remarked. While Lu Sufeng and the others remained silent, it was clear from their expressions that they agreed. It's okay, remarked Xiao Chen quietly. Everyone in the world will laugh at him if he makes a move against a junior like me given his rank. Shoo. Xiao Chen then gently pushed off the spacecraft after finishing his sentence. Then he flew over and stepped into the black vessel of the Bai clan. He faced Bai Feng and merely stood there, without showing any anxiety. Young man, you are quite brave, Bai Feng chuckled. I'll cut right to the chase. Where did you receive instruction in the four-season saber technique? I must make this clear since it affects the basis of my Bai clan. I encountered Senior Bai Shui at the ancient desolate tower, to which Xiao Chen responded, having long anticipated the other party's inquiry. He taught me how to use the four seasons of the saber. However, you can relax. I have already vowed to keep the four-season saber technique a secret. The look on Bai Feng's face suggested that Xiao Chen had validated his theory. Then he added, that's not too dissimilar from what I anticipated. I have a ridiculous request. Would you please send me a copy of the four-season saber technique, including all of its mysteries and your insights into them, little brother? Xiao Chen said directly, sure. Bai Feng was a little taken aback. He had not anticipated Xiao Chen's simple acceptance of his request without even attempting to bargain. The importance of the secret guidebook Xiao Chen would write would be unfathomable. The route that Bai Shui took was the four-season saber technique that the Bai clan had been studying. The number of Bai clan descendants who could master the four-season saber technique would inevitably rise in the future with the addition of this new path. Bai Feng was rather ashamed as a result. Little brother, do you have any requests? He asked. There's no need. Your Bai clan originally owns the four-season saber technique. You asked for it, so I'm just giving it back. Xiao Chen kept a composed demeanor and said little. He concentrated on putting down the four-season saber technique that he had understood on a sheet of white paper that hovered in front of him. The Bai clan members mastering his four-season saber technique and posing a threat to himself didn't scare Xiao Chen. Only after the four-season saber technique matched the cultivator's states could it unleash its full power. If Xiao Chen used someone else's four-season saber technique training regimen, he'd already be doing very well if he could summon even a tenth of the strength he possessed. People from the Bai clan were going in the wrong direction. In light of this, it made little difference if Xiao Chen revealed his own understandings. He also did not have any negotiating leverage prior to a saber sage. A little vessel lingered in the white clouds a few kilometers above the fleet of the Bai clan. On that battleship were a couple of the elders of the Sima clan. They closely observed Xiao Chen and Bai Feng's every action while wearing suspicious expressions. First elder, it appears that a deal has been reached between the Bai clan and Xiao Chen. We probably won't have any chance to act, a gray-robed elderly guy observed glumly. Another person added, it will cause extra difficulties if we move after they enter the Great Qin nation. After giving it some thought, the first elder of the Sima clan said, let's return first. Unexpectedly, this Bai Feng wrecked the situation just when it mattered most. We still have 6 months, though. Opportunities will be plentiful. The little battleship of the Sima clan discreetly turned around and sailed away without anyone recognizing its presence. After 15 minutes, Bai Feng handed over the secret handbook that Xiao Chen had written and carefully placed it away. Bai Feng had a lot of ideas running through his head. He found it difficult to believe that someone with such talent even existed. Even though he was just 22 years old, Xiao Chen was able to develop such a remarkable martial art. He was comparable to those wise men from long ago. I have a lot of respect for little brother's ability and poise. In the future, if you need assistance, just let me know. You owe the Bai clan a favor. As the clan head of the Bai clan, Bai Feng surprised Xiao Chen by making a pledge. Their voyage went on without the interference of the Bai clan. Xiao Chen and the others returned to the Heavenly Saber Pavilion 3 days later. The entire Heavenly Saber Pavilion saw an upsurge in emotions when word spread that Xiao Chen had achieved the number 1 spot. All 5,000 or so inner disciples became very excited. Every day, a large number of disciples would congregate at the base of Qingyan Peak in an effort to ascend it. Xiao Chen's king-grade true dragon luck was the cause of this. The luckiest person in the Heavenly Saber Pavilion would be Qingyan Peak. Luck was a pretty ethereal concept. Its value to cultivators, though, may occasionally be even more significant than talent. Everyone desired to increase their luck. Lu Sufeng was given charge of such trivial tasks by Xiao Chen. He and Lu Ruyu, on the other hand, retired to the back highlands where they lived simply and leisurely during their well-earned downtime. The True Dragon ranking list started to reach every region of the Great Qin Nation after a week, as more cultivators started to return from Dragon Sealing City. It soon became well known that Xiao Chen, a bladesman for the Great Qin Nation, placed first in the 5-nation youth competition. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion gained enormous popularity. People kept coming in waves to join the sect. There were even a few individuals who had never used a saber but were prepared to pick one up in order to enter the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. Even though First Elder Zhang Qi's days become extremely busy, he never stopped grinning. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion lacked opportunities rather than resources. Its foundation would be strengthened even further if disciples were attracted using Xiao Chen's fame right away. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion would be significantly impacted by the luck that Xiao Chen brought. The cult would undoubtedly prosper for the following 500 years, taking the lead in this era of greatness. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion's prestige skyrocketed with a constant influx of new members. Some even without saber skills were willing to start from scratch to join the sect. First Elder Zhang Kai found himself incredibly busy, yet he never failed to smile. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion possessed abundant resources, but lacked opportunities. By leveraging Xiao Chen's renown to recruit disciples, the sect's foundation would become even more solid. Xiao Chen's good fortune would have a lasting impact on the Heavenly Saber Pavilion, ensuring its prosperity for the next 500 years and beyond. The commotion outside did not faze Xiao Chen. After spending 2 weeks with Lu Ruyu, he resumed his arduous cultivation. The road ahead was still long. Xiao Chen had merely taken the first step on his martial journey and needed to work even harder to achieve his goals. When Bai Feng met with him, it heightened his emotions, making him more determined to take control of his destiny once he became stronger. Although Xiao Chen had the option, he wouldn't relinquish the knowledge of the saber technique he had acquired. Nonetheless, he knew that resisting a powerful adversary would be fruitless, no matter how intelligent or clever he was. Fu Kai. The 4 superior-grade spirit stones in Xiao Chen's grasp shattered. He snapped out of his meditative trance and examined the depleted soul stones. Disappointed, he discarded them. Xiao Chen had spent 2 weeks consolidating all the knowledge and skills he had acquired during the 5-nation youth competition. Since then, he had dedicated himself to cultivation. Every day, he consumed 10 superior-grade spirit stones, but his progress was sluggish. He was nowhere near the threshold of a half-step martial monarch. Xiao Chen asked Ao Zhao with a hint of frustration, "Ao Zhao, is there a way for me to attain the half-step martial monarch status within 6 months?" Ao Zhao's gentle smile widened as she responded, "I was waiting for you to ask. There is a method, but it involves a considerable amount of risk." Nothing in life came without risk. One had to put in effort to reap any reward. Xiao Chen knew this fact all too well. He inquired, "What is the method?" Ao Zhao did not provide a direct answer. She asked instead, "Do you know about the origin of the spiritual vein located beneath the Heavenly Saber Pavilion? That which the Fiend King of the Heavenly Wolf race sought to acquire." The origin of a spiritual vein was the foundation of its existence and contained an incalculable amount of spiritual energy. Xiao Chen was aware that the Heavenly Saber Pavilion had a source of spiritual energy known as the Spirit Vein. He had personally experienced it during his time in the underground realm. However, the amount of energy contained within the Spirit Vein was too immense for him to harness. If he attempted to absorb it forcefully, there was a risk of him exploding. Leng Liasu was able to cultivate with it because the founder of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion had imposed a restriction on the amount of spiritual energy that could flow out. Without this restriction, Leng Liasu would not have been able to use it due to her cultivation level. Xiao Chen shook his head and said, "You're not suggesting that we use the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's spirit vein, are you? It's restricted to the founder's descendants, and the flow of spiritual energy is limited." Ao Zhao smiled and said, "No, I'm not suggesting that. I was just using it as an example. There are other spirit veins in the world." Xiao Chen was puzzled and asked, "Are you saying that there are undiscovered spirit veins?" "That's impossible. The major sects have already claimed all the spirit veins. It was impossible to conceal a spiritual vein. Those within a radius of 5 kilometers would immediately sense the spiritual energy emanating from it. The worth of a spiritual vein was immeasurable, as it would attract spirit stone mines in its vicinity. Spirit stones were the standard currency for cultivators, and the riches one could gain from a spiritual vein were unimaginable. The number of spiritual veins under a sect's control often determined its strength, as they were the foundation of its existence. Without them, a sect would inevitably disband. The 3 major sects of the Great Qin nation had survived for so long because each had control over a spiritual vein. The various factions had already divided up the world's spiritual veins many millennia ago, so Xiao Chen could not afford to offend any sect that controlled one. Ao Zhao playfully scolded, "Silly, if I mentioned it, then it definitely exists. However, with your current cultivation level, there is a 70% chance that you will fail to absorb the origin of the spiritual vein. If you fail, you will certainly explode and die." The risk of a 70% failure rate was remarkably high, causing Xiao Chen to contemplate deeply. After some thought, he made a decision. If the odds were 50%, I might take the risk, but with a 70% chance of failure, it is not worth it. Xiao Chen had already unlocked his Sea of Consciousness a long time ago. He simply needed to patiently wait for his cultivation to catch up, and he would inevitably reach the rank of Martial Monarch. There was no need for him to hurry and risk his life by advancing to Martial Monarch within 6 months. Ao Zhao smiled softly and added, "I'm not done yet. If you can cultivate the firmament body tempering art up to the 6th level, your chances of success will increase by 50%. "Then I'll take that bet," Xiao Chen replied resolutely. When Xiao Chen was in Dragon Sealing City, he had already achieved the peak of the 5th level of the firmament body tempering art the moment he obtained the true dragon. If he focused on cultivating this art, he could break through to the 6th level in just 2 weeks. With his mind made up, Xiao Chen immediately took action. After bidding farewell to Lu Ruyu, he set out on a new journey. The spirit vein that Ao Zhao spoke of was located in the Heavenly Extermination Lake in the ancient desolate land, at the base of a mountain range. This was a treacherous place where packs of demonic beasts roamed, making it extremely difficult to access. The Thunder Emperor had discovered this spirit vein in the past, but no one had been able to harness its power, causing its spiritual energy to leak out for the past 1,000 years. It was unclear how much spiritual energy remained at the source of the spirit vein after 5 millennia. In order to save time, Xiao Chen spent only 3 days preparing for this journey. Despite the Heavenly Saber Pavilion being in full swing, Xiao Chen left quietly, and aside from Lu Ruyu, no one knew where he had gone. A scarlet cloud, relatively small compared to the vast sky, moved swiftly in the skies of the Great Qin nation. Even those with good eyesight on the ground would fail to notice it. When strong spirit beasts sensed the surging killing chi of the scarlet cloud, they fled immediately, not daring to face it. Nestled in the scarlet clouds was a scarlet throne that shone brightly. As Xiao Chen sat on the throne, he closed his eyes to cultivate the firmament body tempering art. His long hair fluttered in the strong wind, exuding an indistinct tyrannical air of a king. Despite withdrawing all his aura, Xiao Chen still emitted an overwhelming might because of the scarlet throne. In fact, ever since he obtained the true dragon, Xiao Chen's attitude had changed. Previously, a peak martial monarch like the half-sage Shen Manjin would cause him immense pressure. But now, he remained calm and indifferent before them. He even occasionally felt like saying, "That is all." Unknowingly, the king-grade true dragon had broadened his horizons, leading him to recognize his identity as a future king. Xiao Chen couldn't deny it. Whether he wanted it or not, his future path would be thorny, bloody, and far from peaceful. A monarch would never be satisfied with coming in second. If Xiao Chen were to ascend to the level of martial monarch, he must be the most powerful among them. Should he attain the status of a martial sage, he must be the strongest of all martial sages. And if he were to reach the rank of a martial emperor, he must be the supreme ruler among martial emperors. The individuals who previously held the highest position would surely be skeptical. It would be impossible for Xiao Chen to avoid confrontation with the king-grade true dragons from other major domains. Kai. A piercing bird cry echoed as a black demonic beast with the head of a leopard and the body of an eagle materialized before the Crimson Throne. A ferocious aura emanated from the beast, and it glared at Xiao Chen with malicious intent. Being a demonic beast, not a spirit beast, it was not intimidated by the throne's killing intent, rather, it was drawn to it. The creature believed that by devouring Xiao Chen, it could become even stronger. Xiao Chen calmly opened his eyes and threw a punch. A blue dragon head took shape on his fist as he executed the Dragon Claw Fist's Berserk Dragon. Bang! The punch created a gust of wind and a raging dragon howl. The demonic beast had no chance to evade, and the punch instantly reduced it to a bloody mist. You overestimate yourself. You are just a mere peak rank 7 demonic beast, yet you dared to obstruct my path. Xiao Chen closed his eyes once again. The Crimson Throne did not pause even for a moment, piercing through the blood mist and continuing to move forward at high speed. Half a month ago, Xiao Chen had successfully broken through the bottleneck of the firmament body tempering art, reaching the 6th layer. Now, he could unleash 500 tons of force with a casual punch using his physical body alone. With this, Xiao Chen was already unmatched among half-step martial monarchs. Xiao Chen could now perceive the expansive heavenly extermination lake below. The islets of the heavenly extermination lake were as innumerable as the stars in the firmament. The quantity of individuals flying around also became more abundant. Not desiring to draw excessive attention, Xiao Chen had already kept away the Crimson Throne. He employed his essence to fly expeditiously. From time to time, the martial kings that he passed would sense intense pressure, prompting them to distance themselves from him. What a daunting presence. Since when did the ancient desolate land possess such a potent youngster? The onlookers watched with skeptical eyes, unable to grasp what was happening. Xiao Chen's aura was already very extensive. Even some of the seasoned experts sighed at such a sight. He had genuinely become peerless among half-step martial monarchs. Head a kilometer northeast from that island ahead. Then, descend swiftly, and you will arrive at the place I informed you about. Ao Zhao's voice echoed in Xiao Chen's mind. Xiao Chen scanned his surroundings rapidly before accelerating his pace. He transformed into a beam of purple light and landed on the water surface in a few breaths. Then he plunged into the water with a plop. Gurgle, gurgle. Xiao Chen circulated his vital qi and increased his weight, intentionally sinking into the water like a weight. As he descended rapidly, bubbles surged out around him. Initially, Xiao Chen could still perceive some light. After a kilometer, darkness enveloped the bottom of the lake. Even with his exceptional eyesight, he could not discern anything further than 100 meters. The water current refracted the light underwater, so Xiao Chen could only perceive hazy images through his spiritual sense as well. He could barely make out an approximate image of things. Alas! Just at this moment, Xiao Chen sighed softly, furrowing his brows slightly. A large blotch of blood drifted over from the front, carrying a bloody stench. As he continued to sink, a growing amount of blood appeared. He did not see any of the numerous demonic beasts that Ao Zhao had described. It was as if someone had slaughtered them earlier. Bang! Xiao Chen's figure suddenly halted. He finally reached the bottom of this heavenly extermination lake at an unknown depth, stepping onto solid ground. Using his spiritual sense, Xiao Chen could discern that there was a grand underwater mountain range 500 meters ahead. The mountains were colossal, stretching over a long distance and towering at least a kilometer high. Surprisingly, this underwater mountain range was even more massive than the Lingyun mountain range, where the Heavenly Saber Pavilion was situated. The blood concentration was highest in this area, with blackish-red blood scattered everywhere. The blood seemed coagulated and emitted an unpleasant stench, not dissolving into the water. Xiao Chen could spot the corpses of demonic beasts floating around, which he could tell were the worthless remains of these beasts. After observing this, Xiao Chen grew worried and asked Ao Zhao whether anyone else knew about this area. He feared that someone might have already obtained what he had come for, wasting his time. Ao Zhao reassured him, explaining that this was the birthplace of the Netherworld Flame, an extreme yin flame. 5,000 years ago, the Thunder Emperor had discovered the spirit vein by accident while harvesting some flame seeds. He had placed some restrictions making it challenging for outsiders to locate it. Xiao Chen pondered over the possibility of strengthening his lunar true flame, which had already formed an origin flame but was weaker than the purple thunder true fire, as it had not absorbed any yin-attributed flames. However, his primary objective was to locate the spirit vein's origin, and he would deal with other matters as they came. He used his essence to create a suction force at his palm, gathering the blackish blood in the water which quickly compressed into a ball of blood. Xiao Chen threw the compressed blood ball, which rose quickly and shattered, showering the area with blood, startling the passing cultivators. With the newfound clarity of the lake water, Xiao Chen's vision was greatly improved. He activated his essence and spotted a fissure within the mountain range ahead, which matched the description given by Ao Zhao. Xiao Chen propelled himself off the lake bed and darted towards the entrance with lightning speed. A few moments later, he squeezed through the narrow opening. Initially, the crack was extremely tight, but after 10 minutes, it began to widen. Xiao Chen observed footprints left by other individuals on the ground, indicating that at least 100 people had passed through this area. It was unclear which faction from the ancient desolate land had made their way here. As he continued onwards, the water in the crack eventually drained, revealing an expansive area before him. Above him, stone pillars hung upside down, stretching a kilometer high and taking on bizarre shapes. Fissures ran along the ground, stretching for long distances, with occasional wisps of yin flames emanating from them. Xiao Chen was amazed by the strange sight before him. Suddenly, two middle-aged men appeared above him, dressed in uniform and carrying sabers. They looked at him warily and said, "Stop. The Holy Fire Manor is currently handling some matters here. Would you please leave?" As spiritual sense was not particularly effective within the heavenly extermination lake, Xiao Chen had not been aware of their presence until they appeared. He quickly assessed their strength and determined that they were both peak superior grade martial kings, possessing formidable cultivation techniques. While they were considered experts within the ancient desolate land, Xiao Chen did not view them as much a threat. He recalled his previous encounter with the Holy Fire Manor, where he and Bai Lixi had destroyed their desolate city branch with ease. Xiao Chen and Bai Lixi had murdered the young manor lord and an inner sect elder, and now they unexpectedly found themselves facing the sect again. They required a martial monarch expert to extract the netherworld flame. "Xiao Chen, you must deal with these two people quickly," urged Ao Zhao. However, Xiao Chen remained still, and the person on the right pointed at him, shouting, "You do not know what is good for you. Our first manor lord and second manor lord are here. With your half-step martial monarch cultivation, they can defeat you easily. Leave now." Xiao Chen knew that the Holy Fire Manor had two martial monarchs, and they were both present today. Despite the fact that he couldn't compete with them if they worked together, he saw no point in retreating now that he was already there. Xiao Chen narrowed his eyes and attacked suddenly, leaving a deep footprint on the ground as he executed the Azure Dragon cloud soaring art. A resonant dragon cry was heard, and the person who had spoken earlier felt like an azure dragon was flying towards him. Breaking armor. Xiao Chen punched, and a sharp chi formed over his fist, tearing the person's protective essence apart like paper and leaving a bloody hole in his chest. Seizing the heart. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Chen turned his right hand into a claw and pierced the second person's chest before he could react. However, before he died, a short arrow hidden in his sleeve shot out. The arrow had a special fuel coating that burned quickly in the air. Xiao Chen fired out a strand of purple fire, knocking the arrow down before it exploded with a piercing sound. The sound waves reverberated everywhere, clearly audible within 5 kilometers. Go! Xiao Chen had not anticipated the arrow's effectiveness and quickly rushed in another direction. Over a kilometer away, 100 people of the Holy Fire Manor were battling a large group of flaming giants. These fire spirits were difficult to deal with as they did not have physical bodies and were immune to pain. Two old men quietly hovered above the troops' heads, emanating powerful auras and occasionally sending out casual attacks to take down any fire spirits in their way. Upon hearing the ear-piercing sound, the countenances of the two elderly men altered simultaneously. The elder in gray robes on the right spoke up, "Elder brother, it's astonishing that there are others who know about the netherworld flame besides us." The elder in blue robes on the left retorted gloomily, "I'm faster. I'll go and investigate while you stay here." Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The instant the blue-robed elder finished speaking, he dashed out in a hurry. He moved so swiftly that the space he traversed couldn't withstand it. Visible cracks emerged in those areas. Xiao Chen was unlucky, as the main forces of the Holy Fire Manor had encountered interference from the fire spirits and had not gone too far. The blue-robed elder, who was a kilometer away, arrived in a few breaths. Upon reaching the spot and scanning the surroundings, he immediately spotted Xiao Chen fleeing. The blue-robed elder relaxed his face, and his eyes glinted with murderous intent. Chuckling coldly, he remarked, "A mere half-step martial monarch dares to seek attention. He's quite audacious." Shoo, shoo. The blue-robed elder escalated his speed to the maximum, creating a dark spatial rift behind him as he pursued Xiao Chen. Executing the Azure Dragon cloud soaring art, Xiao Chen moved like a deluged dragon, bounding around on the ground. He had already activated the blood flame shoes, but he still couldn't shake off the blue-robed elder. The elderly man in blue robes rapidly closed in on Xiao Chen, narrowing the distance between them in just 15 minutes until he was within 500 meters of him. Meet your end. With a cold gaze, the blue-robed elder used his palm as a saber, gathering quintessence and flashing towards Xiao Chen from above, aiming to strike him down. A palm wind ripped through space, leaving tiny cracks in its wake. If it landed, Xiao Chen would be in trouble. The difference in their speed was too great, and with one using quintessence and the other essence, there was no comparison between the two. There was no way for Xiao Chen to escape. In a flash, Xiao Chen drew his lunar shadow saber and turned around, moving 7 steps and leaving behind 7 afterimages. Each afterimage sent out an attack, each one shooting out a dazzling saber light. Merge. The afterimages combined, and the saber lit up with a dazzling radiance, with the power of 7 peak attacks. It collided with the blue-robed elder's horrifying palm saber with a loud bang. The two moves clashed head-on, and an intense energy ripple exploded out, causing waves to spread in the surroundings and distorting space. Xiao Chen took 3 steps back, while the blue-robed elder took 10. After regaining his footing, the blue-robed elder's expression changed drastically. He had been at a disadvantage in this exchange. Although he had only used a quarter of his quintessence, it should have been more than enough to deal with a half-step martial monarch and easily injure them. Even if he had failed to injure Xiao Chen severely, he should not have lost out in power. The elderly man in blue robes lifted his gaze and saw Xiao Chen's figure clearly. He was momentarily taken aback before anger flared in his eyes. Clenching his teeth, he bellowed, "It's you. The white-robed bladesman, Xiao Chen." Xiao Chen gripped his saber with one hand, and lightning crackled around it. His expression remained unchanged, and fear was absent from his heart. The elderly man was not yet a peak inferior grade martial monarch. Unless the two martial monarchs worked together, Xiao Chen could easily escape even if he could not defeat them. "I have no interest in your netherworld flame. If you don't hinder me, I won't interfere with your affairs. How about we work together and take a step back?" Xiao Chen spoke calmly. The elderly man burst into raucous laughter. "Take a step back and work together? What right do you have to say that to me? You're the one who destroyed the Holy Fire Manor's branch in Desolate City, aren't you?" "Sir, please refrain from making baseless accusations," Xiao Chen replied unhurriedly, his calm eyes devoid of ripples. The elderly man's pupils contracted, and a murderous intent flashed in his eyes. He sneered coldly, "Do I need evidence? There is no one here. No one will know if I kill you." The Holy Fire Manor's Desolate City branch had been destroyed, and his son had been killed. After a lengthy investigation, the elderly man had concluded that Xiao Chen was the prime suspect. Based on his suspicions alone, Xiao Chen had to die. "It seems you truly believe that you are invincible after winning the 5-nation youth competition. Today, I will show you the difference between you and a martial monarch." The elderly man's expression turned frigid as he snorted coldly, then launched a lightning-fast attack. Vigorous quintessence gathered in his right palm before he struck out, causing the space to tremble as if a mountain was crashing down on Xiao Chen's head. Hu Kai. Xiao Chen's body immediately solidified as the essence within him transformed. He emitted several 10,000 strands of purple light, and his black pupils turned a deep shade of purple, illuminating the dark underground space. Clouds gather from all directions. Wind and thunder, gather. A strong gust of wind blew, and clouds churned above as Xiao Chen quickly executed the initial moves of the lightning tribulation saber technique. Dang! The clash of his saber and palm produced surging shock waves that caused the black ground to explode, throwing up countless rocks. Amidst the airborne rocks, the two exchanged blows at lightning speed, and the state of massacre poured forth as thunder roared. The quintessence palm wind destabilized space, and countless fissures spread throughout the area. The aftermath of their exchange scattered the rocks, and when strong winds blew, they kicked up a vast cloud of dust. Earthly lightning tribulation. Wind and thunder gathered, and Xiao Chen's momentum reached its peak as he unleashed the state of massacre within the Scarlet Throne. The berserk saber technique he wielded gained an attribute of massacre, and the might of the earthly lightning tribulation instantly soared. Mountain pushing palm. The blue-robed old man increased the amount of quintessence he used to 70%, and a resplendent light flowed on his right palm. He then extended his palm, compressing all the air around like a moving mountain. Bang! A loud sound rang out, and a deep pit appeared below the two, with white-colored yin flames flying out like wads of cotton. The blue-robed old man took a step back, retreating 100 meters and leaving a deep imprint on the ground upon landing. Heavenly lightning tribulation. Xiao Chen's aura flourished as he turned into the heavenly Tao, flinging down the second lightning tribulation. The blue-robed old man's aura seemed to be waning as he got knocked back by another 100 meters. Divine lightning tribulation. As the final lightning tribulation fell, the blue-robed old man paled and retreated 500 meters. He had not expected that even after using 70% of his quintessence, he still could not stop Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen raised his head and noticed that the blue-clothed elderly man had covered himself in blazing quintessence at some point. The elderly man's aura surged to the peak of an inferior-grade martial monarch, and a strong gust of wind stirred up the dust behind him. Xiao Chen, you must leave immediately. Ao Zhao urgently warned from within the lunar shadow saber. He has burned his quintessence, and he used an extreme yin flame. You cannot defeat him. The technique of burning quintessence was exclusive to martial monarchs and higher-ranked individuals, who could quickly deplete their quintessence to bolster their strength. Generally, martial monarchs would avoid using this technique unless it was absolutely necessary. Moreover, utilizing an extreme yin flame to burn one's quintessence would amplify their strength even further. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Xiao Chen sheathed his saber and fled the scene without a moment's delay. Are you still thinking of running away? The blue-clothed elderly man snorted contemptuously and vanished from sight in the blink of an eye. Everywhere he went, quintessence flames would incinerate the surroundings. Suddenly, the elderly man delivered a lightning-fast palm strike to Xiao Chen's back. Sensing the imminent danger, Xiao Chen turned around quickly, crossing his arms and adopting the tiger and dragon stance. His left hand represented the dragon, while his right hand stood for the tiger. As the tiger roared and the dragon bellowed, Xiao Chen executed the crouching tiger hidden dragon technique. With a loud bang, the palm strike landed on Xiao Chen's arms, causing him to spew out a mouthful of blood. He spun in midair several times before finally landing on the ground. Xiao Chen's blood and qi surged through his body, while his opponent's burning quintessence ravaged his meridians. The elderly man's attack had inflicted significant damage to his internal organs, causing excruciating pain. Kneeling on one knee, Xiao Chen wiped the blood from the corner of his lips and smiled at his opponent. You are truly a martial monarch expert. With a casual palm strike, you have injured me to this extent. I must come back in the future and experience your exquisite techniques again. I will return this palm strike to you. The elderly man in blue robes understood that Xiao Chen was making fun of him for bullying the young. He spoke in a chilly tone, even on your deathbed, you dare to argue with me. Even if you are a true dragon of the king grade, you will die today. Suddenly, a powerful flame erupted from Xiao Chen's right eye, and the true purple thunder fire surged towards the old man with an overwhelming force. Its energy was incredibly menacing. What a small trick. I have been playing with fire my entire life, said the elderly man, as a large ball of pale white flames appeared in his right hand. In the center of the fire, an origin flame the size of a chicken egg burned brilliantly like the stars. The elderly man casually threw the ball of flames, and it shattered Xiao Chen's purple flames into sparks that scattered everywhere. The blue-robed man smiled, pleased with himself. He had been cultivating his extreme yin flame for 50 years, and its origin flame was incredibly potent. He was surprised that his opponent had dared to use fire against him. However, when the sparks and flames dispersed, the elderly man's face turned green. He saw 81 Xiao Chens running in 81 different directions. He couldn't tell which one was real. If he had seen Xiao Chen perform the roaming dragon's 9 transformations, he might have been able to identify the real one immediately. However, now that he was confronted with 81 figures, he couldn't distinguish which one was the true Xiao Chen. Damn it! The Holy Fire Manor's first Manor Lord was furious. A genuine martial monarch expert had used an extreme yin flame to burn his quintessence, and yet he had still let a half-step martial monarch escape. It was already humiliating that the elderly man had attacked a junior, but he couldn't even stop him, which made it even more embarrassing. Fortunately, no outsiders were present. Otherwise, if the news got out, he wouldn't know where to hide his face. With his remaining quintessence, the elderly man stomped on the ground violently, pouring all his anger into the stomp. As a result, a long crack appeared on the ground, and the energy in the crack acted like a blade, slicing the air and extending the crack. "What's the matter, first brother?" A voice interrupted the blue-robed elderly man's thoughts. The second Manor Lord of the Holy Fire Manor had arrived in haste, having sensed the blue-robed elderly man using his quintessence and assumed he was facing a powerful adversary. The blue-robed elderly man composed himself and responded, "It's Xiao Chen." The gray-robed elderly man interjected, "The white-robed bladesman Xiao Chen, ranked first on the True Dragon ranking and our primary suspect in the young Manor Lord's murder. But he's only a half-step martial monarch. How could he?" Observing the blue-robed elderly man's hostile expression, the gray-robed elderly man quickly silenced himself. He then inquired, "Since he managed to escape, do you think he will pose any complications during our hunt for the Netherworld Fire Spirit?" The first Manor Lord replied coldly, "If he does not, it would be in his best interest. However, if he does, we can eliminate him alongside the Netherworld Fire Spirit and absorb some of his luck. Post a guard at the entrance. I doubt he has left yet. Once we have captured the Netherworld Flame Seed, we'll deal with him. Don't be reckless in the future. There are no weaklings among the martial monarchs. I've never seen anyone attempt to clash with quintessence using essence before. It's suicidal," Ao Zhao scolded from within the lunar shadow saber. Xiao Chen had consumed a 1,000-year-old spirit herb with healing properties. He rapidly converted it into medicinal energy and infused his internal organs with it. After expelling a mouthful of murky blood, he appeared to be in better condition. Upon hearing Ao Zhao's admonition, Xiao Chen stood up and grinned. "I'm fine. I'm aware of my limitations. After battling that individual, I've gained a more profound understanding of my strength." Following the 5-nation youth competition, Xiao Chen's strength had grown exponentially. However, he had yet to encounter a suitable opponent to challenge him. No one below half-step martial monarch could pique his interest. Fortunately, the blue-robed elderly man was an inferior-grade martial monarch. By fighting him, Xiao Chen was able to gain a better understanding of his own abilities. With Xiao Chen's current level of combat proficiency, an inferior-grade martial monarch who refrained from burning their quintessence would not stand a chance against him. Even when facing an inferior-grade martial monarch like the blue-robed old man, who could use extreme yin flame to burn his quintessence, Xiao Chen still felt slightly inferior. However, if Xiao Chen advanced to the level of martial monarch and refined all his essence into quintessence, the blue-robed old man would not even be able to last 10 moves against him, even if he burned his quintessence. As of now, the blue-robed old man only had the advantage of quintessence. In terms of martial techniques, cultivation technique, and combat techniques, he was no match for Xiao Chen. If Xiao Chen utilized the Purple Thunder True Fire to burn quintessence, the blue-robed old man would not even survive 3 moves. A fervent desire lit up in Xiao Chen's eyes, and he looked around before saying, "Let's put this aside for now. Ao Zhao, where is the origin of that spirit vein?" I am eager to get started. According to Ao Zhao, the origin of the spirit vein was 10 kilometers away in the northeast direction. After reaching a certain point, a mound would be visible, and the Thunder Emperor's restriction would be present there. Ao Zhao promised to assist in opening it for him. Although the distance was not too far, Xiao Chen did not rush to go there immediately. Instead, he sat down cross-legged and treated his wounds. He made sure that he was in his best possible condition before proceeding. After an hour, Xiao Chen opened his eyes, feeling invigorated. He jumped up and transformed into a flood dragon, ready to move forward. However, he encountered some trouble as 10 ferocious fire spirits blocked his path. Having dealt with fire spirits before, Xiao Chen did not panic. He knew how to handle these fire spirits that did not experience pain. He released a clump of purple thunder true fire from his right hand, and his origin flame shone brightly in his eyes. The purple thunder true fire, containing an origin flame, possessed an immense power that was entirely different from before. When the fire spirits approached him, Xiao Chen shouted, "Life bestowal spell." The flames took the form of 10 sharp short swords, which he waved out with his right hand. Boom, boom, boom. The highly yang violet flame short swords penetrated the chests of the fire spirits, causing them to explode in an instant. The troublesome fire spirits dissipated into countless sparks. Xiao Chen smiled slightly, his right eye sparkling with violet light. The short swords in the air transformed into 10 rays of light and returned to his right eye. With the help of the short swords made from the true fire of purple thunder, he effortlessly cut through all the fire spirits in his path. After a quarter of an hour, he reached the mound that Ao Zhao had mentioned. The mound was not very big, only around 200 meters tall and 300 meters wide. It was black and looked quite ordinary. There were countless such mounds in the area. Is the origin of the spirit vein beneath this? Xiao Chen circled the mound, but he couldn't sense any spiritual energy or anything unusual. No matter how he looked at it, it was just an ordinary mound. Ao Zhao nodded and said, "Yes, the origin of this spirit vein doesn't have a spirit gathering formation to suppress it, so it usually leaks out spiritual energy. The Thunder Emperor took away half of it back then. He was afraid that others would discover it, so he casually set up a restriction. Wait for me, Shu." The moment Ao Zhao finished speaking, she emerged from the lunar shadow saber, and the saber immediately dimmed. Xiao Chen hadn't seen Ao Zhao in person for a long time, so he examined her carefully. He discovered that she hadn't changed at all. She was still a head shorter than Xiao Chen and still looked like a petite girl. Her figure was still as hot as before. Seeing the mound before her, Ao Zhao revealed a nostalgic expression. She sighed before quickly forming hand seals with both hands. When she finished, she pointed at it with her right hand and whispered, "Open." The solid mound split in half before Xiao Chen's shocked gaze. Surging spiritual energy poured out from the crack. Don't just stand there. If the two people from the Holy Fire Manor feel this spiritual energy, you'll be in deep trouble. Xiao Chen understood the danger. His figure flickered, turning into a violet beam of light and instantly entering the crack in the mound. Ao Zhao followed him and formed hand seals with both hands again. The mound closed with a loud noise, becoming ordinary once again. From afar, the two elderly men on their way to the netherworld flame seed both scowled simultaneously. Once one reached the level of martial monarch, they would begin to cultivate mental energy, making them highly perceptive to fluctuations in spiritual energy. In that moment, both of them sensed a sudden and intense surge of spiritual energy. "Elder brother, should we investigate?" asked the gray-robed man. The heavenly extermination lake was once the capital of the Tianwu dynasty. What we felt could be the result of a treasure surfacing. "I'll go take a look. You handle the netherworld fire spirits first," replied the blue-robed man after pondering for a bit. The crevice was pitch black and shrouded in a spiritual mist that lingered for centuries. Everywhere was covered in dew that condensed from spiritual energy. One didn't need to practice cultivation here, simply breathing the air would boost one's cultivation instantly. However, Xiao Chen dared not do so. The spiritual mist contained too many impurities due to the lack of ventilation, which would cause significant damage to the body. So, Xiao Chen could only sigh at the sight of such a spiritual mist. Xiao Chen proceeded forward, and the spiritual mist dissipated at the end. Instead, an underground river appeared before him, emanating a fragrant spiritual energy that tantalized his senses. The entire river was made up of spiritual liquid. What a waste, he lamented. With just one river like this constantly gushing, how much spiritual energy has been squandered in the past 5,000 years. Ao Zhao, who was following behind him, smirked. You're so naive. This is only a low-grade spirit vein. When you reach the Kunlun realm, you'll see what a real spiritual river is like when you come across the heavenly spring ancient river. After Ao Zhao's retort, Xiao Chen smiled sheepishly without responding. He knew that spirit veins had varying grades, but he was ignorant of the specifics. The starting point of the divine stream was where the root of the divine vein lay. Therefore, they both headed in that direction. Along the way, Ao Zhao educated Xiao Chen on the classification of divine veins. Divine veins were graded from rank 1 to rank 5, with rank 1 being the most ordinary. Spirit stone mines were not found around a rank 1 divine vein. However, a rank 2 divine vein was the minimum requirement for spirit stone mines. The divine vein in the Heavenly Saber Pavilion was a rank 2 divine vein, but the spirit stones obtained from such a vein were mostly of inferior grade. Medial grade spirit stones were rarely found. The higher the rank, the more likely a rank 4 divine vein would produce a large number of superior grade spirit stones. Rank 4 divine veins were also known as peak divine veins. There were no more than 5 such divine veins in Tianwu continent, and most of them were on the verge of drying up and no longer produced large numbers of superior grade spirit stones. Rank 5 divine veins were also known as holy divine veins. There was not a single one of them in Tianwu continent, and even in Kunlun realm, they were a rare sight. As for the divine veins above rank 5, there was the legendary King Divine Vein. They were extremely rare, and only King grade sects could control them. As they talked, they soon arrived at the starting point of the divine stream. Xiao Chen looked at the suspended divine veins root in midair and frowned heavily. The divine veins root that hung in the midst of dense spiritual mist was only palm-sized. Spiritual rain condensed non-stop from the spiritual mist, functioning as the source of the divine stream below. An azure ball of light floated quietly in the middle of the mist, emitting spiritual energy. Xiao Chen smiled wryly and said, "We probably made a pointless trip. The Heavenly Saber Pavilion's divine veins root gave me an impression of boundlessness, as if I was immersed in a vast sea." Ao Zhao giggled joyfully. "Hee hee. Naive master, you have stumbled upon a precious gem without even realizing it. You are more foolish than an idiot." Xiao Chen felt uncertain and asked, "What do you mean? It's crystal clear. You have never truly witnessed the source of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's soul vein. Even the source of a peak soul vein is only 10 meters in diameter. How could it be infinite?" Recalling his past experiences, Xiao Chen realized that he had never seen the source of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's soul vein with his own eyes. He had only sat on the prayer mat for a moment, and the boundless sensation appeared in his mind. Ao Zhao went on to say, "Even if a higher grade soul vein is well maintained, it will still gradually weaken over time. I estimate that the source of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's soul vein is only about 10 times larger. It should not be any larger than that. You have come at a fortunate time. The source of this soul vein is currently the maximum that your body can handle, meaning that the danger you face will be lower." Xiao Chen gazed at the source of the soul vein with fervent desire. He couldn't help but feel ecstatic. Once he advanced to martial monarch and refined quintessence, a vast realm of cultivation would open up to him. Ao Zhao held out her hand to Xiao Chen, asking for some premium grade soul stones. She said solemnly, "Although the danger is less, it is not completely safe. Remember this, do not be too greedy, don't lose yourself in power. Once I have set up the soul sealing formation, you can go and absorb the source of the soul vein. Remember my words. Don't ever forget them." Xiao Chen nodded and said, "Go ahead and set up the formation." Ao Zhao gestured with her right hand, causing a powerful gust of wind to disperse the thick spiritual mist. Now, only the stunning and resplendent azure origin of the spirit vein remained suspended in the air. Shoo! Shoo! Spirit stones flew out of Ao Zhao's palms as she hurled a total of 108 superior grade spirit stones. She then made hand seals and the spirit stones emitted a soft glow. The spirit stones emitted a gentle radiance, and lines appeared from them, interconnecting all the spirit stones. An incredibly intricate formation materialized instantly above the origin of the spirit vein. Brilliant light shone from the 18 corners of the formation, sealing the space within. I have already set up the spirit sealing formation. The spiritual energy of the spirit vein's origin will no longer leak out. Go ahead. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and leapt up, soaring into the center of the formation and sitting cross-legged. The spirit sealing formation formed a flat surface, allowing him to float without any additional effort. The palm-sized origin of the spirit vein floated quietly above Xiao Chen's head. Boom! The instant Xiao Chen sat down, a surging river appeared in his mind. The river was massive and appeared capable of destroying everything in the world. Xiao Chen sank into his consciousness. He finally comprehended that what Ao Zhao had stated was accurate. The spiritual energy contained within this palm-sized origin of the spirit vein was undoubtedly at least 1/10 of the Heavenly Saber Pavilion's spirit vein's origin.